Charm and relationships, these are the two largest areas of inquiry when we review all the thousands of questions that come in to us. And charm is of particular note because it does take some time to accrue the evidence that leans in favor of simply following charm. People don't feel safe about this because they remember their non-meditating days. I was charmed to poke another needle of heroin into my arm, and I did it. I was charmed to beat my spouse, so I beat him. I was charmed to, whatever. Didn't work before, why should it work now? Well, the reason is you've introduced a second element. A second element means the experience of transcendence. When you have a dark room, everything completely dark, then you don't have any way of dealing with problems other than, dealing with the darkness on its own level. Maybe we're all banging into each other and we don't know who each other are in this people-filled dark room. Maybe we should create Braille badges so we can tell who everybody is. Our knees are being hit on furniture. Maybe we need more first aid kits. Maybe we need to re-engineer the furniture, move it all to the edges and nobody will hit it anymore. Maybe we need to have a new motto, darkness is beautiful. Everyone sing it together, like that. And then somebody wanders into the room and turns the light on. Now the light's on. And all of these different proponents of the different solutions to the problems, the Braille badge people and the furniture moving people and the motto people and all of that, they still have some attachment to their solution, but the problem isn't there anymore. The connection between the knower and the known has been established. You're not going to hit furniture anymore. You won't need all the first aid kits. You don't need all of those things. And yet there's attachment to the previous way of thinking. Some people might even want the lights to go back off again so that they can, sell their wares to everyone. But with the light on, there's one more problem. Light on means more consciousness gain. This is the analogy we're using in Vedic meditation. The light on also shows you the mess that's been created during the period of time that the lights were off. And with the lights on, one of the first things we need to do is start cleaning up some of the mess. There's a mess been created by not having access to that deep inner self, capital S self. That layer of us, which is our individuality connection with cosmic intelligence, with that underlying field, unified field of evolutionary intelligence that is motivating everything. Not being with that evolutionary program, not being in tune and alignment with the laws of nature that govern evolution is what created all the problems for us in the first place. Now we're meditators. We've introduced a second element. We've switched on the light. We've expanded our consciousness. We have access to nature's own intelligence about how it's about to evolve everything. And so naturally, we want to lean into that intelligence, lean into that fine level of feeling. And some research might be needed. We need to dedicate ourselves to the proposition. For a little while, live your life. A little while could mean any number. Minutes, hours, a day, 2 days, 5 days, 10 days, whatever. Lean into that and see to what extent it's true that the fine level of feeling actually is that layer of you that can sense where to be and where not to be, what to do and what not to do. This may be a new idea based on a new experience. The lights have come on. Can I really let go of my idea that we should move the furniture out of the way? I don't know. Maybe the lights will go off again. But if you keep practicing your technique every day, the lights won't go off. Can I really rely on this idea of not having the motto that suffering is the reality of life and I might as well just engage in it? Darkness is beautiful, that kind of mentality. Is it safe? Well, you have to see for yourself by doing a little bit of research. And so dedicating a bit of time to that. Now, as regards the other most commonly asked set of questions, how do I experience fulfillment in a relationship? First of all, we need to do something we haven't done before, and that is to challenge the assumption about where happiness of a lasting nature actually lies. Am I a big bag of neediness looking to be served by the qualities that are going to come to me from the outside world, including people, including perhaps a specific person is going to be giving to me and fulfilling my needs? Or let's flip that around. Am I a fulfilled person looking for bringing myself into the field of need, meeting the need on its own level, the need of the time, the need of evolution? Am I fulfilled and a giver, or am I needy and simply wanting to be served? And if we're needy and wanting to be served, and two people who have that same disease get together, no one gives. And when two people can't give, all two people can do is take. And when you have two takers who are always looking for the other one to win the suffering competition, or, I'll win the suffering, I'm suffering more than you be sure you give to me more. Oh no, wait a minute, I'm suffering more than you give to me. And you have this big suffering competition. Who's suffering the most? And who is it that needs to be giving more than the other? Then you're just going to have a disaster on your hands. So first relationship we need to have is the relationship of our individuality to that deep inner layer of fulfillment, that cosmic self inside that has no need. It is the fountainhead that can issue forth any amount of creative intelligence to bring capability to any situation. If I have a relationship with that, I'm fulfilled. Now, being in relationship is very relevant. It's very relevant socially. Now I'm going to bring my fulfillment, take my fulfillment on an excursion and bring fulfillment to the need of the time. And then I'll be a delight to relate to, because I won't be some bag of neediness looking for somebody to prop me up or to help me justify my existence. I'll be someone who knows that my existence is justified because I'm a bringer of light to every situation in which I find myself. This is a new habit. It's a new habit, and the old habit of, what about me? What about me? What about me? That little voice inside, always, what about me? Let's really look into what is the me inside in its greatest nature. The person whose thoughts are kind of in orbit around the implicated, we can imply, what about me is driving all their activity. What about me? What about me? What about me? Oh, that's all okay, but what about me? I have this, I need this. Surely, me, I, me, mine, me. Okay, I'll do things for other people, but I'm going to want some rewards. What about me? What about me? That little nagging voice, which ends up being pretty pathetic, frankly, goes away as we awaken the true me inside. What is the true me inside? That vast, unbounded field. When one starts to make this discovery on a regular basis, I am the field of total capability. I am the field of pure restfulness. I am the field of the basis for dynamic activity. I am the field that has infinite energy there inside of it that can become kinetic. I am the giver. It's pretty much, the answer is yes. What's the question? So inside, one has gone through a transformation. One is not relating on the basis of neediness. One is relating on the basis of giving, wanting to give, a natural desire to issue forth. And so then to change habits is like, switching gears from constantly driving the car in reverse and using the rearview mirror all the time to drive wherever you want to go, driving backwards, to putting the car in a forward gear and moving forward all the time with the big vast windscreen of possibilities and being able to navigate your way through life in that way. And again, it takes some relearning. And through these talks and treatises that I'm giving on these online formats, it's possible as a meditator to allow your thinking to change in grades, certainly, but in grades means to graduate into a new, more successful, less needy way of thinking about oneself.